Well-functioning heart keeps the body healthy and lively. Efficient library creates healthy educational institutions, as our Honorable Vice Chancellor of the National University, Professor Makanjana Rajagoman, Chief Speaker, Professor Dinesh, Director, School of Social Sciences, Professor Suhas, Director, Research Unit, Professor Jacob Sharma, esteemed colleagues, friends, and ladies and gentlemen who are present here and also who are attending the program online. I take this wonderful opportunity to welcome each and every one of you gathered here to celebrate the 132nd birth anniversary of Ramanathan, who was the pioneer of the discipline of library and information science in India. And today we have a very important theme. It is titled as Rethinking Ramanathan's Philosophy in the Contemporary Society. We are extremely grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Makanjana, for taking out our time to be with us in spite of our tight schedule. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your kind presence in our midst this morning. We are also very thankful and grateful to Team Speaker, Professor Dinesh, who actually needs no introduction. He is a well-established academician in this field of library and information science. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation to be the team speaker on this auspicious occasion. Well, to begin our program, we shall now begin with a floral tribute and lighting of the land. And for this, I would like to request our Honorable Chancellor, respected speaker, Director, School of Social Sciences, and Director, Research Unit, to kindly come forward and lead us for our tribute and lighting. Let us all put our hands together to welcome the occasion. We have now presentation as a token of our love and respect, and we would like to honor our Honorable Vice Chancellor. And for this, I would like to request the Director of School of Social Sciences to kindly do the presentation. We also would like to present our middle momentum. And I continue to request Director School of Social Sciences to kindly do a presentation to our resource person, Professor Dinesh. And now I request Professor Jared Sharma to kindly do the presentation to the Director of School of Social Sciences. Thank you very much. We have gathered here for a very important purpose. And for this, I would like to request Professor Jared Sharma to kindly come forward and give a brief introduction about Dr. Sarna. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Yankin. A very good morning to all of you. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dinesh Gupta, our guest, Director School of Social Sciences, our friends from the profession who have come all the way from different places, my colleagues in India. This is a very special occasion that we are celebrating the birthday of Professor S.R. Ranganathan, the father of library and information science in India. His father of library science was given to him by none other than Professor Sir Morris Doyle, the ex-Vice Chancellor of the University of Delhi. Professor Ranganathan, his birthday celebrations go on for this particular week. It starts from 9th and goes on for full week. In fact, there are 2 dates of his birthday, 9th and 12th. According to Hindu calendar, it is 9th, and otherwise it is taken as 12th August. So the whole country celebrates this birthday starting from the 9th. In fact, it started from 8th itself because of the paucity of speakers. They have to divide the days and it goes on for a full week. For those who are from particularly from non-library science background, I would like to tell you that Professor S.R. Ranganathan was a teacher of mathematics when he taught mathematics for almost 5 years after his post-graduation. And then a post of university librarian in Madras University was created in 1924 when he joined as University Librarian in Madras. He didn't have any professional qualifications. So immediately after joining as the University Librarian, he went on a tour to the University of London and attended a certificate course and also visited the libraries in London. And this is how his professional career began. And he was in the profession very active for almost 50 years up to 1960s. And for his last 7 years also, he contributed to the profession. Finally, he died in 1972. So during all this time, he had immense contributions to the discipline. He did not leave any subject. I would like to tell you that he authored 60 books and 2,000 papers. I was just seeing the H index. Even today, he has a H index of 29 and a I-10 index of 57. I was just trying to compare with other well-known people. It is almost the same as Ramanujam, and it is much more than many well-known professionals in other disciplines. So I was satisfied and confident also, yes, why he is regarded like that, not only in the country, but all over the world. People say what Einstein is to physics, Ranganathan is to library science. This is the type of influence he has not only in the country, but also on the Western world. Ranganathan, being a mathematician, right from the moment he entered the profession, he was into creating a platform to say, yes, library information science is a science. And for that, in 1931, he authored his first book, which was 5 Laws of Library Science, which has almost more than 1,000 citations. And this is a well-regarded work. And recently, in the early 2000, a research was done on it. It is OCLC funded research in the US, and it was found that the laws are still valid when the environment has so changed. The only difference was that the way he ordered the laws from 1 to 5 has been little different now. With the changing context, it has been the laws have been renumbered. Otherwise, they say that laws are still valid. He has a vast contribution in classification and knowledge organization. He also studied the knowledge, the universe of knowledge, and is well known for his works on how knowledge originates and how it originated, how subjects originate, how the subjects are related, what are the processes. Being a scientist, he gave different processes by how the knowledge develops and how subjects grows, right from fusion to fission to distillation. So this is how he terms all these processes, how knowledge grows and how subject develops and how subject develops into a discipline. So this was his contribution to the universe of knowledge and universe of subjects. In fact, as a librarian and as a teacher, what he did right through his career as a teacher, he assigned projects to his students to study the growth of knowledge and growth of subjects. And that was part of his one of the standards that he created, that is known as the scheme of classification, which he named as Colon classification. Because when he entered the profession, the standard to classify knowledge was an American standard. In fact, there were some other standards also. And he said, no, this is not the way we should do it. He created a scheme of classification which he called as analytical synthetic classification. And he named it as colon classification because he used a connecting symbol colon. And during his lifetime, he revised it 6 times. And it was only after his death that it was revised once more. And we have 7 editions. And the beauty of the scheme was that the other schemes that exist, they were run into volumes and could not be afforded by an individual. But he created a scheme that is this thick only and can be afforded by a student also. So that was the beauty of the scheme. I was just seeing yesterday the American scheme costs 49,000 rupees. And the scheme that he designed, it costs us 250 rupees only. So he was very particular to the Indian conditions and Indian knowledge and Indian tradition also. That is why when these schemes to organize knowledge that exist did not consider the Indian philosophy and Indian knowledge systems, he saw to it that these find a place in these schemes of classification. So this was one of the unique contributions. He in fact gave so many principles, postulates, and he tried to provide a scientific basis to the discipline of library information science. He was instrumental in developing educational institutions starting from Madras. In fact, he started his job as university librarian in Madras University. Then he established the department there. Then he moved to Banaras Hindu University, then to Delhi University, then to Zurich, and then to Vikram University, Ujjain, and finally he moved to Bangalore. He started an institution in Institute of Scientific Information, ISI Bangalore, and that is one of the best known institutions called Documentation Research and Training Center, which he established in 1962 and still runs and is one of the best known institutes in the world that has produced professionals, and one of them is the one who is the director of InfluNet today. She is a product of that very institution. So he has contributions to the discipline of library information science, to the education field, and also to the profession, to the associations in the profession. He is the one who worked for the development of public libraries, developed a 30-year library development plan for the country. And this was his vision. And so you think of an area developing standards for Bureau of Indian Standards in the field of library information science, developing standards for how much staff is required for libraries, very scientifically calculated as per the workload, and it has not yet been changed. So this was his vision and outlook. He not only worked for the development of this discipline and the profession the way I have just now told you all, he also whatever he's earned toward all through his lifetime, he created an endowment for that. And it is that endowment that still works and produces a journal that was started by him. And it is one of the best known journals in the field, which was initiated by him. And the only point is that the way we have not been able to take forward his philosophy is that the books or the documents that he created and still continue, they are not in open access, they are priced, and somehow there is a feeling in the profession and the discipline that this is now outdated. And that is why we thought, and in fact, there have been discussions going on in the country that how he is still relevant in the contemporary society. And we thought to have a lecture by Mr. Dinesh Gupta, who has been working in this field and has also been responsible for a journal which has produced some special issues in the area. And I think he will bring to light all these issues, how contemporary is Ranganathan today. I think I'll stop here and thank you all.
Thank you very much, Professor Jaideep Sharma sir, for the profound introduction about Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. I shall now request the Director of School of Social Sciences to kindly come forward and address the gathering.
Thank you so much, Professor Yanthan. Good morning, all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Uma Kanchidar, the resource person for today, Professor Dinesh Kumar Gupta, directors of various schools, centers, and divisions of DIPTO, faculty and staff members from various schools, and of course, my colleagues and staff from School of Social Sciences, faculty members, Professor Jaideep Sharma, and organizers of this event, and your participants. Well, if we say that books are full of knowledge, then we can say that the librarians are custodians of knowledge. And we are fortunate to have one such custodian of knowledge as our Honorable Vice Chancellor. And SOSS is indeed privileged to house the discipline of library and information science. And I can say that between books and the information service, artificial intelligence, and so on, the discipline of library and information science has all the trending areas covered up. The discipline of library and information science is one of the 8 disciplines of School of Social Sciences that is one of the largest schools in our university. The discipline launched its first program, that is bachelor's degree program in library and information science way back in 1989, and since then they have been regularly launching different programs which are very relevant. The master's program, of course, that is MLIS, Masters in Library and Information Science, is also a flagship program and was launched in 1994. The discipline also has postgraduate diploma in library automation and networking, besides certificate in library and information science. All these programs provide an opportunity for intensive practical training aimed at enhancing the technological skills of learners to develop a modern library and information center. The institute, of course, also offers PhD program in library and information science, which is offered in regular mode as per UGC norms, and this was launched again in 2002. There are also various Swayam courses that they have been working on. Very interestingly, last year, I think in 2020, they also introduced internship, in their BLS and MLIS programs, and for that, they also launched a portal. In 2022, the portal was launched, and this portal actually is a very good platform for all the stakeholders, including the students, the training organizations, and the faculty members of library and information science, as well as the retail traders. So the students who are doing their BLIs and MLIs can easily carry out their internship and gain hands-on training program. So there is a wonderful portal and a very innovative kind of innovative activity, and that has been introduced by the faculty of library and information science. And as you can see, also the creativity and the well-organized, event that has been put forth for you by the faculty members. As I'm aware and can vouch for, the discipline comprising of Professor Archana Shukla, Professor Yusha Poyantan, Professor Kubar Singh, Dr. Pavan Singh, and Dr. Ashok Kumar, under, of course, the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Uma Kanjidar, who is also a professor in library and information science from our school, and Professor Jaideep Sharma, to add that he is also director research unit, but first consider him to be our faculty member. So the discipline under their able leadership continuously strive to bring about innovation and towards advancement of the programs offered by the discipline. And of course, this special address by Professor Dinesh Kumar Gupta on the occasion of National Librarian Day is also yet another attempt to further the certificate of library and information science and also to create awareness. So my best wishes to the Faculty of Library and Information Science, and on behalf of School of Social Sciences, I welcome each one of you, and also Professor Dinesh Kumar Gupta for his presence over here. I hope all the participants have a fruitful experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Solas, Director of School of Social Sciences, for your kind words to the discipline of library and information science, and also expressing to the Academy. Thank you very much. Before we go to the very important program of today, I shall request Professor Marcy to kindly come forward and give a brief introduction about the resource person for today.
Good morning, one and all. Honorable BC Professor Uma Kanjidar, respected source person, Director, School of Social Science, dear colleagues from the various schools of the university, and dear allies, colleagues who came from outside, and ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to introduce our distinguished resource person for today's special lecture, Professor Dinesh Kumar Gupta. Professor Gupta is a senior professor in the Department of Library and Information Science at the Central University of Haryana, Ahmedabad. With a career spanning over 3 decades, he has made substantial contribution to the field, having previously served at Bardhaman Mahavir Open University. Currently, Professor Gupta holds the position of Dean of the School of Interdisciplinary and Applied Sciences at Central University of Haryana. His leadership extends beyond this role, as he has also served as the Dean of Student Welfare from 2020 to 2022. Additionally, he is a key figure in the university learning management system and Soul Chakra Initiative. Internationally recognized for his expertise, Professor Gupta is a member of the Standing Committee of the IFLA section on education and training for the year 2023-2027 terms. His previous role within IFLA includes serving on the management and marketing section and the education and training section, as well as chairing the jury for the IFLA International Marketing Award from 2008 to 2011. Professor Gupta's scholarly contributions include authoring 3 IFLA books in collaboration with colleagues from the United States, Canada, and Spain. His editorial work is equally noteworthy as he served on the boards of numerous prestigious journals and is currently the executive editor of the Annals of Library and Information Studies, a quarterly journal with a rich history dating back to 1954. He has been associated with IGNOU last 30 years. We are honored to have Professor Gupta with us today. His extensive experience and contribution to the field will undoubtedly provide valuable insights and inspire us, all of us. So thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Marcy, for introducing our resource person for today. We are extremely fortunate and privileged to have a very established academician who will be speaking on the theme rethinking Ramanathan's philosophy in the contemporary society. Well, before we give time to him, we have another special presentation to our resource person. And I would like to request one of our PhD scholars who has sketched Dr. Ramanathan and would like to give the special gift to the resource person for today. Yeah, that's all. Give him a big Thank you very much. We also thank Swaro, who is one of our PhD scholars, for initiating this presentation. Okay, now we have come to a very important part of our today's program. And so we give the time to a resource person. You may please come forward here and to the presentation. Thank you. Let's all give him a warm welcome once again.
Thank you. Economics. There were my son, Professor Umakantila, the director of the School of Social Sciences, Professor Sura, the Dean Research, Director Research, Professor J.D. Sharma, all the directors of different schools and different units of IGNOU, because I have been here for many occasions, being served in the sister institution of IGNOU at Burman Bangalore University. On numerous times, I have visited this also different parties. My dear senior colleagues from the profession who have come here from different institutions, the faculty members of librarian departments, the other departments, and the researchers and everyone. Please accept my greetings and best wishes for this special occasion when we celebrate Ramanathan's birthday. And I want to thank the IGNOU under the leadership of Professor Umakantila and
Professor Subhasji, Jaydeep, we have come together to make this occasion happen. So the topic today is very important, but the importance, the contribution, the significance made by Professor Ranganathan has been highlighted by my friend Dr. Jaydeep. And I have been given an assignment which is very difficult because rethinking is a term which has two meanings. One is whether we have thought Ranganathan somewhere misunderstood, and also whether we need some new way of offering services to the population. So it has both the meanings. I have gathered different ideas, different framework of mine, and I think that 90 minutes when we discuss about different perceptions of another people and how things are going. So when I searched about the society, it is like this. We have families, we have life, communities. Of course, business was part of society. I have some interest in marketing. So there are values, so many things. I think I don't need anything stressed here. But when we define, when we search about the contemporary society, this is the first result I got on the Google. The kind of society, the contemporary society we have, where there is no people. Everything is somewhere in the technologies, in the houses, in the communication, or even the people have also changed their life values, everything. So this kind of contemporary society we are having, or maybe we will be having in coming years. And when we have such society, there are different perceptions about the need, demands, and aspirations of the society. Because we all are concerned, at least educational institutions, for the growth and development of the society. And these terms, growth, because maybe social science is also having the department of economics. So we have different conceptions of growth also. During Ranganathan's time, the concept of growth, I hope, maybe I can be wrong, but was termed in the sense that per capita income or GDP means purely in numerical sense. But when we came into just after Ranganathan's death, the conception changed. And this new concept of development came in, where development in terms of scale of production, in terms of employment, and societal benefits from the economies was also major concern. And in recent, since 2015, we have been discussing about the sustainable development goals because it is not only the economic development, social development, but there are also parameters of development, human development, ethical developments, which are certainly to be addressed by 2030 by all the countries of the United Nations. So these are the major concerns when we discuss about the contemporary society. I also tried to search because the policy which has been in a lot of discussion during the last 3-4 years. So I also had some ideas from this particularly policy. I also mentioned the page number. That what are the expectations from educational institutions? Not only educational institutions, but also all those are providers of the education. May it be library, may it be education, may it be some other entertainment or some other industries. It's a joint responsibility for all of us. So it requires, the first requirement is high quality education for the people, young people. Then it it also focuses on India lead research and innovation to make our country pride, not only in economic terms, but also Vishwaguru by 2047. That is our dream. Then there is also focus, because when we talk of developing such society on the knowledge creation and research, and then offering some equitable opportunities, because the institution like IGNO and other institutions are involved in this particular area of work, which is producing, engaging, contributing citizens for the equitable, inclusive, plural society, and so that people, the citizens, have opportunities to dream, thrive, and contribute to the nation. But you should also think about the society in which Ranganathan was born. I have just taken these two slides, not related with Ranganathan, but two slides of that time in the beginning of 20th century. So there was a lot of troubles, problems, issues, concerns in terms of their standard of life, quality of life, their education, employment, equality, and many other things. And families used to be large one, 8-member family, 10-member family, 20-member family, 50-member family. So that kind of society was there, and Ranganathan was part of that society, I want to emphasize. He was born in a small village, small town, which is known for temples. And Ranganathan visited almost all the temples with his friends and his teacher during his early days, very early. But he was also having so many life struggles. At the age of 7, his father died. So he spent his life with his maternal grandfather, and then he was married at the age of 50 without employment. That kind of society was there. And he was just struggling to continue his study. Maybe such institution was also needed that time, IGNO like. Even then, in absence of such institutions, with the struggle he was having with the family, he could sustain with the support of his maternal grandfathers, and also with the support from his guru, Ross. Then again, misfortune happened in 2028. His wife died. So that kind of situation was there, and Ranganathan came out of such difficult, worse situations. So I think we have great respect, tribute to this personality who struggled all, I think, 25 years, because he joined as assistant professor of mathematics in 1970. So about 25 years of early career, and then also more time he was struggling. But struggle not ended there. Even at the college where he served, there was some, he wanted to bring innovations in teaching, because he was a teacher of mathematics, as Professor Dedi mentioned. So he wanted to have his own syllabi, like NDP is advocating that teachers should be having freedom to design his own syllabi in a way he wants to deliver, the content he wants to deliver. That kind of mindset, innovation he wanted to make. He wanted to make library as integration to the syllabus, but he was struggling to even making these small innovations at his college. Then he enlisted, like this time we have enlisted, we are trying to enlist so many technologies and innovations, the changes which are taking place. So Ranganathan made a list of the changes which were taken after his birth and during his education time. And these were new innovations, mostly brought out in western part of the world. But because we were following the western educational system, so he was also thinking how these technologies will change the education scenario in the country and at his own subject. His career started on 4th of January 2024. 1904, 24. It was 24. Sorry. Because I prepared these slides in the late night. So there could be some errors. So please forgive. So he was not inclined to join this new job because he was happy in mathematics. But his friends and well-wishers wanted him to be librarian because he has a better skill at that time also. So he accepted, and even after joining his job as librarian, he was not happy because situation was not supporting. The way services were delivering was not to his satisfaction. But somehow, with the God's grace, because he was very much a follower of dharmic proverty. So, with the God's grace, he could have opportunity to visit United Kingdom, London School, London College of Librarianship, and where he could stay for 9 months, and he attained the early qualification for librarianship. But again, he had a lot of confusions there because his group shares, the group he shares. He just designed a grammar of classification, and it was different from what is being followed in the country, UK. He visited I think in 8-9 months. He visited more than 110 libraries of that country. Not only visited, he looked at each and every book, how it is classified, what content it has and all. And based on that experience, he could understand that this classification scheme is not suitable for the knowledge, the way knowledge is growing. So again, he was discomforted. Then he also got another dimension in UK. This departmental store, like we have many these days. So this was one of the new departmental store, new concept that came in United Kingdom. So he visited this departmental store, and it was open. Otherwise, even in UK, if you are to buy something, you can enter in the shop. Otherwise, you are not able to enter in the shop. That kind of situation was there. But this opened the customers, the people, to have a look on the items, the groceries it is having, and they can select. And that gave him grand idea of making library in a way that this department is serving to its customers. And he decided, when coming from UK by ship, it took, I think, around 1 month. And he used to recite Ramayana after taking bath in morning loudly. And after that, he was alone, only Indian in that ship. So he had plenty of time, which was invested for his own introspection, what he could learn there and how he can implement in the country. And that was the successful library. So he thought of this, I was mentioning this store, which came into, because I have also this information this morning, that it came into 1908, just few years before. So still this store is working in UK. But during next, this 1 month spent in the ship, he could elaborate his own business. These are the statements which are mentioned by the photography brought out by his son, Yogeshwar Ranganathan. Is that he wanted to practice patriotism through devotion of work, to exploit the potential of libraries to educate citizens, to popularize and organize a nationwide library movement system in the country, to realize library services as mass education institute of restricted education potential in college classes. Because that kind of determination was very much essential, as rightly Sri Krishna pointed out in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, व्यवसाय टीकात्मक बुद्धि रहे गुरु नंदन बहुशा, because you cannot move unless you have firm determination in single direction. So that kind of approach he had from the UK and before entering into the country. It is not that he had this idea, but it is also a theory of business. I think many of you are aware about the author, the person, Peter, the greatest management scientist of 20th century. What he said three things, because everyone is in business, made with for profit, made for non. First, there are assumptions about the environment, the organization, society and its systems, the market, the customer, and the technology. Second, there are assumptions about the specific missions of the organization. And third, there are assumptions about the core competency, because Ranganathan was competent enough to have such understanding when he came. Otherwise, what could have happened is like this. A paper appeared in Harvard Business Review in 1969, with the title Market by David. But it says a story about the traveling business in United States. The company was in train business, so they focused their train business rather than in transport business. Like if we say that IGNOU is in distance learning rather than focusing on education business. So similar way, that kind of mafia was happening there. So there should be clarity, because it's very important for library professionals what business we are in, whether we are in technology business or we are in information business or we are in storing business or whatever. There could be many dimensions, more dimensions. So because the clarity we had, Ranganathan, about the library, the concept of library, very clear, and he was not hesitant to take such clarity from ancient sources. The sources which are available not in his own native language or some English or something. So he took this text from Sanskrit language. In Sanskrit, meaning is denoted by laya. Laya is integration. I think the people who are having some affluence with art or even cricket में बोलते हैं ना सर विराट लय में आ गया, वो लय क्या है? वो लय ये है जब हमारा यूजर और हमारा किताब दोनों एक हो जाए. That is the lay. It is not a storage. हमने क्या किया है? it's a place which contains books or knowledge. So we have connected it to the place rather than integrating with the user. Then what Swami Vivekananda said, education is not the amount of information that is put into the brain and runs right there, undigested all our life. He said we must have life building, man making, character building, assimilation of ideas. And he says, if education is identical with information, merely information, the libraries are the greatest sages in the world, and encyclopedias are the rishis. Because we had libraries and rishis also in our ancient time, and these are the foremost and the first librarians of the world. If we correlate with Naradji, what was the work of Naradji? These days, these correspondents and media people are correlating their originator, Narad. But why should not we relate our own Naradji as the first librarian of the world? Because the purpose of, what was the purpose? He was just collecting information and transferring information from Vedas and his own experience from his, because at that time, these people used to go in peace for a long time, and they attain ideas, and they distribute those ideas. So that was a mechanism to manage their own self. So, and that is why time of wisdom, because when we compare the wisdom, the knowledge, the information, the data, and so on, this was the first initial stage of libraries when it was within the man. Then in the next Treta Yuga, we had rishis, and Sri Ramchandji visited all the rishis. In the beginning, Vasishtha was his guru. Then Vishwamitraji, then Bharadwaj, and then many more in the forest. So he attained all knowledge and wisdom from these rishis, which was transferred. Because when you see the Valmiki Ramayana, it is said that Naradji transcribed Ramayana from the Valmiki. So Naradji was the originator. These rishis are again distributor, which they got knowledge and wisdom got from these Vedas and these rishis, like Narada. Narada was Trikali, and उनके पास तीनों काल की सूचना रहती थी. वो पावर था, वो लाइब्रेरियन का पावर था. आज भी हम भी, we are also involved in 3 cars, all the 3 times, past, present, and future. Then and here, Bhagwan is the discipline, the learner, and in Dwapar Yuga, Bhagwan is the teacher, and he is describing. because अगर आप लोगों को शायद हो गई, चौथे अध्याय में श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में शुरू में ही अर्जुन प्रश्न पूछते हैं कि जब पुरानी कुछ बातें रिलेट करते हैं कि आपको ये कहाँ से ज्ञान आया, तो वही कहता है मैंने सबसे पहले सूर्य को सुनाया, फिर मैंने मनु और अपने पुत्र को सुनाया, फिर मनु ने अपने पुत्र को सुनाया, लेकिन समय काल में वो पद्धति बंद हो. तो here that discipline and that the learner becomes the teacher. And now what is happening? क्योंकि हमारे वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड में ये कहते हैं कि ह्यूमन लाइब्रेरीज एक नया इनोवेशन. अरे भाई ह्यूमन लाइब्रेरीज तो हमारे 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 साल पहले की बात है. It's not a new thing for us. We should advocate. We should identify these things, these sources. Then Ranganathan used these 2 very important examples describe the role of libraries. One is Banyan tree. But what? Because all the knowledge are coming from the previous knowledge. What is this Banyan tree? So whenever you go and sit down and whatever you wish for, you get. So still the Ranganathan correlates in 5 laws itself that library is like bird banya tree, where new branches of knowledge, Jayadip was mentioning, relating with the classification. So that is the bird banya tree in Ramayana, and this Ranganathan was relating libraries with the bird. Again, he was relating library with the Nandini, Kamdeni. When this Kamdeni was with Rishi Vasishtha. But when King Vishwamitra came to, he was just crossing and came to his place, and he wanted some stay at his place. Then Gurukul. Then he served beautifully the way the king and his ministers and servants wanted. Individually. So Vishwamitra was surprised how it happened. So he said that it was because of this cow. It can give whatever you want. So he was not happy with that. He wanted to give away this cow from Vasishtha. But here, our purpose is that whatever library is like cow, this calm will, whatever information or knowledge or wisdom or data you want, this cow can give. This library can give. Further, in reference of this, Ranganathan relates the role of Ramayana, the role of librarian with Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna, the qualities, the attributes, the competencies which we were discussing when we talk about business theory given by Drucker. What better competencies we can have? Maryada Purushottam now. The ethical, the sense of prestige, equitability of temper, love, respect, willingness, all attributes we can have from these 4 personalities which are described as librarian by Ranganathan in reference of this. There are many other instances also in different works of Ranganathan. I have taken all the instances from Ranganathan's work. Like discourse of Vasishtha with Valmiki, we have already discussed it. Then Nam Sanskar, then Swayamvar, it is very important because we will discuss open access. So, what is Swayamvar? There is one Dulan and many selectors. So, same way, there is one book or vice versa. There could be many books and one selector. So, it's a Swayamvar. Swayamvar is the opportunity to select something. So, he used the word Swayamvar. Then he also used Panigrahan Sanskar. आप लोगों में जानते होंगे पानी ग्रहण संस्कार करते हैं तो हाथ मिलाते हैं, हाथ जोड़ा जिसको पता नहीं क्या बोलते हैं, अलग अलग लोगों को कुछ बोलते हैं, हाथ बांधते हैं, हाथ बंधन बोलते हैं. तो रंगानाथन ये कहते हैं कि जो लाइब्रेरियन और यूजर का जो रिलेशनशिप, लाइब्रेरी और यूजर का जो रिलेशनशिप है थ्रू बुक्स, वो ये है पानीग्रहण संस्कार का रिलेशनशिप, नेवर एंडिंग, एवर सस्टेनेबल, that kind of relationship we have. So there are many occasions Ranganathan related his philosophy with the ancient sources. This MLA, Madras Library Association, which was founded by S.R. Ranganathan in 1920. What is happening there? This was a logo of MLA at that time, and there is no logo now. This cow, same logo, common, something, because I don't understand Sanskrit much. But same logo with the help of Saraswati. this logo is no more available with Madras Library. I don't know what went wrong there. Now we are coming to 5 laws. Most of the time we take these laws as statements, 5 statements, or 5 principles, simply principles. But these are Mangalacharan. You know, when you hear Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavad, or you go through Srimad Ramcharitmanas, you know Mangalacharan. And what is the use of Mangalacharan? I think the people of religion or Hindi or philosophy can better explain, but what I could understand is if you are having Mangalacharan in the beginning or the end or in between in your book will be a successful one, a popular one, and it will not be a book, it will become a source of inspiration for many people. And that is why Ranganathan wrote these Mangalacharan in every of his books. कोई भी किताब उनकी ऐसी नहीं है जिसमें मंगलाचरण नहीं, लेकिन हमने उनको took them as 5 laws of library science, 5 principles, 5 statements, rather than considering them Mangalacharan. And when we take this way, we need to recite 5 laws every day, maybe for 15 minutes, maybe for 20 minutes, maybe for half an hour, maybe once in a year, maybe once in a lifetime, because this is Ramayana for us. All of us. Because this 5 laws gives a lot of things. It gives vision. It's a guiding force for all of us. In technology era also, these ideas continue to be applicable. And it also gives purpose of our existence. If libraries are not for use, if books are not for use, what purpose it is there? Very clear. Then in all the areas, all the time it is applicable. In all the areas of library operations. And numerous authors have interpreted these library laws or Mangalacharan in different ways, in different time frames. Some related with the book, some related with information, some related with e-resources, MOOCs, and so on and so forth. With AI and so on. And one of my researchers is working on this area actually. She's correlating 5 laws and SDGs. So I took some of the ideas here. So she described all these studies with categorization in different themes of different time frames. And this was very appealing this morning for me, because when I was searching something about Ranganathan, I wrote this article. Was Ranganathan a Yahoo? Yeah, what is Yahoo? Yahoo is fertilizer, and Ranganathan is Deshikar, organic. And these days, maybe because I'm heading School of Interdisciplinary and Applied Sciences. So there are people discuss about nanotechnologies and nano fertilizer also. You don't need these bags of fertilizer. You just take a bottle of fertilizer. That will be enough for some part of land. So we are moving towards fertilizer rather than organic khaad. I'd rather organic khaad rather than Yahoo and Google and these Amazon, because these have taken ideas from us. What Amazon is doing? Nothing. They have classified their products on the basis of some facets, which was originated by Ranganathan. The whole idea of this Amazon is based on Ranganathan's philosophy. We also try to identify some keywords from these 5 laws commentaries given by different authors. So these, I think, whatever happening in the contemporary society, you can cover up. I think JDT 5 laws are very much relevant, but we need to rethink the way we think. Then Ranganathan was also futurist. He was not only resources and all. Before it is there, what he said during the last 10 years, the library profession is turning with wonder to the electronic engineer. Only long of emulate him and him at the fringe of applied electronics. He was apprising us. Then he was also apprising us, warning us. The computer is one of the versatile forms in which electronics can help mankind. We must accept the computer. We must drive all the benefits it is capable of giving us. It can relieve us of much of the repetitive routine work and thus release men of higher kinds of work, particularly creative. So, Ramanathan was very much aware of happenings. Because this computer development has moved digital. And the industries, all the businesses, these four aims for the basic to run any kind of business. And for us also, for libraries also, we had Trinity, the user, the librarian, and the resources, the books. But this fifth P is leaving behind all the four P's. You can see the business of Ola, the business of Swiggy. This fifth P is working. The rest four P's are supporting. And one more interesting thing which is happening nowadays, they are not in their own business. They are transferring their business. Ola Scooty, Ola mobile, bike, Ola bike. Maybe they produce their own Ola car rather than renting. So the business is very fast shifting when we have this kind of environment. But this is very important statement. This is very, I think, I agree because I am also belonging to this because I am catching up ideas from different sources, leaving my own discipline aside. Similar way, everything is miscellaneous. There is no particular, nothing about any subject. Maybe tomorrow, IGNOU can do in some other business, leaving education behind. So it has network. So that kind of opportunity this aim is giving to all of us. So how digital revolution is radically changing the way we make sense of our lives, because we are discussing our contemporary society. Human beings constantly collect, label, organize data, but today the shift from physical to the digital is mixing, burning and drifting our lives apart. In the past, everything had its one place and physical world demanded it, but now everything has its places, multiple categories, multiple cells, and everything is miscellaneous. And you know, these are the alphabetical list, list of this book, and you can see our business, our father, the person who introduced classification scheme in 1874. What is happening? All are being impacted with the technology. The business, the catalog, the categories, the classification, both the classes, the facility, the knowledge, the libraries. The biggest library of Congress also is being impacted. And you can see the things, metadata. All the part and parcel of our business is becoming miscellaneous. But we should be clear about what business we are in. Because Naradi was in business of wisdom, then knowledge, then information, then next is coming. Next role is coming for us. Then maybe in some more time, we will have another role. So we have to fix up somewhere. Or we have to keep our role shifting also. I don't know the answer. Madam will say where we are. But the best thing is that you can directly, with the technology, you can directly have wisdom from data. It's the beauty of technology. You have a lot of data, plenty of data of the students, the visitors crossing a street or whatever, market or a shop or a library also. But how, when we use that data to transform our own business is the biggest challenge for all of us. This is our routine work, most of the work. Acquisition, organization, information. Madam, I have some time. Storage, retrieval, etc. This blue range was available when Ranganathan was alive. But new role has come to us. But my dear friends, these roles have also passed to every successful person. May it be a journalist, may it be a researcher, may it be a teacher. Because he has also a lot of information and he has also many tools at his own available. So we should also think that our role is being taken up by everyone. Because a researcher, technologies are there for all the roles, not technologies. So our role is also being challenged. Then, but we should have one thing in mind, librarianship. Dharma is a word which has no similar word in English. English is different word. And right information, you can put here right data. You can put here right knowledge. But this is this business, this dharma is given by Ranganathan. But again, I think it is taken from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which I will discuss in next slide. But in Ramcharitmanas, what Tulsidas ji says, प्रगट चार पद धर्म के कलिमाओं एक प्रधान जैन के विधि दीने दान करेगा. ये जो टाइम है इसका युग, we cannot do other things, we cannot be truthful, daya tap, but only dharma we can perform during this Kali Yuga is donation, is giving others the knowledge, the information, whatever you have, the wealth, even. And this Bhagavad Gita says, Dave dat vyamati yadyanam diyate anu vakir karine deshe kale che patre tadanam satikam smartam. This says that charity given to a worthy person simply because it is right to give without considering anything in return. This is very important. We never expect anything from our user. At the proper time, in the proper place, I think the sense of giving right information to the right person at the right time is grasping this statement of Srimad Bhagavad Gita by Ranganathan. That is what I feel. Then you come to 5 laws. The first statement of 5 laws, this has also been removed. If you look at 5 laws brought out by SS obligation, you won't see this statement. What is that? You carry knowledge to the doors of those that lack it and educate all the pursuits and the right. Even to give away the whole earth cannot be equal to that form of service. This service, education. अगर आप पूरी जमीन जायदाद दुनिया भी दे दें, उससे आपकी जो इंफॉर्मेशन की जो दान है, जो एजुकेशन का दान है, वो ज्यादा पावरफुल. ऐसा हमारे शास्त्र है. इनको रंगनाथन, this statement also I had from Ranganathan's component. What constitute Purusha? It's Akshar Brahma. Because the Tulsidas ji starts this shloka, first shloka of Ramcharitmanas. Varnanam, Sanganam, Rasanam, Chan Sampi, Mangalanam, Cha Kartaro, Vande Vane Grahito, The first, the word, the letters, the words, the chunks out of rasa from the word, and then these rasa becomes documents or books or knowledge, which is the grace with the grace of Saraswati ji and Ganesh ji. The Saraswati ji, which we have removed from MLA, but Ranganathan says that book is also having sound. Three sounds. One is thought content, another is subtle body in the form of script, and gross body, the complete, like we have. So we should think that our thought content must be our purpose rather than these bodies, because these will come sometime in electronic form or sometime in some other form. And the last statement of 5 laws of library science in first edition, it is again taken from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I think this is very popular shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Mansani jirnani yatha viraya namni grahani grahati naro parani atha sharirani vihaya jirnam jnani sayati nayani de. So what he says here, he does not say about the book. जिस तरह से हम हमारे क्लॉथ चेंज कर, उसी तरह से हमारी आत्मा, ये कहते हैं लाइब्रेरी की आत्मा भी वैसे ही परिवर्तित करती है। कभी वो नारद जी के साथ रहेगी, कभी वो ऋषि के साथ रहेगी, कभी हम जैसे लाइब्रेरियंस के साथ रहेगी, कभी पता नहीं क्या रहेगी। आखिरी स्टेटमेंट है 5 laws of library science का फर्स्ट एडिशन। This was the most important role Ranganathan played, and my friend Jaideep ji very nicely highlighted this function. So this was the core of library. When there was no, or rather less means of communication, but when we have a lot of communication, every जितना हमारा population हो उतना ही मोबाइल फोन आज कंट्री में, और कई देशों में तो उससे भी ज्यादा है वहां की जनसंख्या से। वहां पर क्लासिफिकेशन, क्योंकि हर आदमी क्लासिफाई करना शुरू हो जाता है, उसके पास टूल्स अवेलेबल हो जाते हैं। शायद इसलिए हमारी ट्रेडिशनल चीजें हैं तो दिक्कत आ रही है। We started with open access, स्वयंवर between a book and the reader. This concept is being extended. Educational institutions like IGNOU have moved to OERs. We are also moving towards open data, and there are many other aspects which will be held in next few years, which are part of the movement which was started by none but Ranganathan long back in 1927. This you can not only information, but data has all the life cycle like having information. So all the steps can be followed in data. But the biggest challenge for being ethical in this kind of environment, every day we get this kind of messages on Facebook or WhatsApp. We will publish your paper within 2 days. We can prepare report, thesis for all of you. But we should be very cautious about these things because no one can be there. And these technological similarity check tools can also do, not only support you, but also can make you suspect this. MIT also. We also had worse situation. But yes, we have new policy. The scientific advisor to the government, principal scientific advisor to the government of India has also drafted this new policy on academic ethics, which not only talks about the publication ethics, but also about the ethics on the next item which we will have to deal, but how our ancient sources have dealt with such kind of unethical practices. This is a practice, this is a statement which I got from Cambridge University Digital Library. They are trying to educate their users with the ancient shlokas from our sources. It's not that there are many instances in our sources, ancient sources, like listen lots of poets, save nectars of the years that has arisen from the churning of the treasure of ocean. Like this is like Datyas, something like Lutera. If someone is taking your some of ideas or some text from someone else, then he is like that thing. So we should not only rely on these mechanical software, but we should inculcate some habits in our researchers and community, academic community. Work that were made earlier, having been already written, are studied again, each intently. Doing that, one should only recite. Means you should be grateful to them. Like Tulsidas did in seventh sloka. That he was indebtful to the Valmiki and all those who have contributed in bringing out Ramayana. I am hopeful to them. That kind of gratefulness is there in our ancient sources. So we should promote such sources and bring before them, in order to conceal the mark of the work, extending one letter from for another. A practice arises in the midst of anonymity. Now I am coming to the, I think, last part of my presentation. University of the Future. This report came more than 10 years back. You can see 2012. And it was projection for 2030. And the future universities will not be in buildings but in digital space. All the knowledge, all the information, all the teaching learning will be undertaken through these technologies. We will have a lot of analytics. All happening will be in clouds and so on and so forth. So these were the projections for 2030 for the developing world, not for India like this. But we have progressed much faster than them. Our finance minister announced digital university of the country in 2020. And in this year, 100 crores have been allocated to establish digital university, this financing year, by the finance minister. So, but very important thing, another projection, again, which also made in 2010, 15 years before, for 2025. Because we are sitting here in an institution which is dealing with lifelong learning. And this will be the biggest area of concern. One should philosophy of education will not be tenable anymore. And everyone will need to be skilled and reskilled and educated and re-educated. So to prove his or her work. So that is the biggest area. Then another area is OER. So how librarians, how we as librarians can deal with the things which are likely to happen, whether we are able to deal with the lifelong learners requirement. So we need to think. Yes, role of a teacher. It's not that role of librarian is shrinking, but role of a teacher is also shrinking. Is coming from the sage of the sage at the stage to the guide at the side. And these are the first areas of NEP, which is trying to build up all such expectations which our society demands. So libraries need to also partner in all these areas through technology, because technology is integrating everything. Without technology, it's very difficult to sustain. A flat 10 report, 2030, 23. It's a setting new role for libraries, realizing libraries' potential as partner for development, not for education, not for information, but for development. Which development? The SDG demands. The SDG demands, and our father of library science has dealt many of the ideas, because I mentioned that one of my researchers is working on this area. He dealt in 1930, more than 85 years before, about these ideas. We have just gone through one title of Ranganathan, we will go through all the titles, and maybe all the expectations of SDG might have been dealt by Ranganathan in different ways. So we are working on this area. This madam is the chief guest of that program. And this colleague from Italy, Lusa Giusti, what he says about Ramana. Working together on the basis of a complete and simple common reference, the calendar of SRR's live events, the public and private texts he read, very important. We are unable to read his own text, but he's trying to read the way Ranganathan read. Make Ranganathan alive again. That kind of approach the people from the Europe are taking, but we are lagging behind in such approach. Ranganathan was certainly a pioneer, my friend Jaideep, and I think everyone knows that. He contributed in different ways, but to make his dream further or carry further, we need to rethink our role as librarians and libraries also. We need to think to give one country level librarianship through deep shared infrastructure, like educational institutions are moving in that direction. Nationwide content delivery. Anyone can take the required document or content or information from any library. Then unified digital landing system. Then social space. It's a very important aspect again, because a lot of private libraries are flourishing. But because people are in need of such spaces, so we need to think and one brand for the whole country. Because maybe if Ranganathan would have alive, maybe thinking on these lines these days, these things, and because he was a pioneer, and the thinking of pioneer is like this. He took this text from Kama Sutra. He says that a pioneer feels the thrill of delight. His whole personality gets immersed into his work the way he did. It involuntarily expressed itself in the work. Rules and methods and incentives are not for him. He transcends them all. And yet his work is better than that of long settled persons guided by rules and precedents. He mentioned this in reference on this at page number 49 from WhatsApp. So it's time to tribute to SRR. This statement I will just end my talk. शख्स बनकर नहीं बनते शख्सियत बनकर, क्योंकि शख्स तो एक दिन बनता है, पर शख्सियत जिंदा है. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Dinesh Gupta, for giving such an elaborate presentation on the theme, rethinking Ramanathan's philosophy in the contemporary society. Thank you very much. And I have been told by one of my senior colleagues to kindly give maybe a few minutes if anybody would like to have a discussion on his presentation. In case if anybody would like to maybe raise a question.
Was it really wonderful? Like, it kept me engaged. I think it's applicable for everyone because you made it so interesting, presenting it, and every aspect of Professor Ranganathan you shared. Actually, I was overwhelmed. I was touched. Very beautiful thing to feel. Everything, each and every detail of the Nara is what it has to be, and now how the information that we can share, we can disseminate, and it is but at present time as well. So beautifully presented. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for your kind words. I think we have another one. Maybe someone can help me pass on the mic. Yes, you can just carry that entire mic with you, no problem. Yeah. Switch on the mic, please. Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention here. You talked about how we can, as a dharma, we can, be correlated to that. As a professional, how we can share the knowledge to the right person, the right time.
Okay, now we have Dr. Yeah, please take a check.
I studied ML, I guess, in the year 2000.
Switch on the mic, please. Yes.
I did ML in the year 2000 from Delhi University. और उसके बाद मैंने PhD किया था यूं से 2013 में मुझे PhD अवार्ड मिला था और 2000 से अभी तक रंगनाथन के बारे में इतना कुछ पढ़ा है सुना है बहुत सीनियर प्रोफेशनल से भी सुना है लेकिन आज जो सुना वो सब नया है
किसी दिन श्रीमद् भगवद गीता और रंगनाथन पर बोलने का मैडम मौका देगी तो हमारे रामायण रंगनाथन पर एक बार बोला है क्षेत्र एक पेपर भी मेरा.
Okay, last, maybe somebody, if anybody would like to ask a question or to compliment. Yeah, please.
Congratulations on a very excellent presentation. I was just wondering, in today's digitized world, you were talking about marketing also, right? Marketing of information. So, I mean, are we coming up with strategies to market our traditional libraries? Just a curiosity.
Marketing traditional library. That aspect I have not taken. Only one aspect I have from store, taking idea. But in Ranganathan's text, in reference service, in documentation, and other texts, we have direct some ideas from selling, from salesmanship, from salesmen. So that kind of ideas Ranganathan had, and it is certainly that marketing is applicable all the time, in all the stages. Yes.
Thank you. So let's give him a round of applause for his wonderful presentation. Okay, we have come to a very important part of our program. I know our Vice Chancellor would not like me to do this, but I'm going to capitalize this opportunity of saying a few lines of our Honorable Vice Chancellor. Well, just a very brief. Throughout our career till now, Professor Uma Kanjilal has demonstrated consistent commitment to advancing online and digital library initiatives, not only nationally, but also globally. She was a Fulbright scholar and was a director of many centers like ACIL, COE, School of Social Sciences, and also active librarian, pro-vice chancellor, and the vice chancellor in charge of the Brahman National University. She has also undertaken major projects of UNESCO, member of RRLF, and has initiated e-Gyan coach, which is known to almost everybody across Indian world. Her other assignment includes consultancy for the Education Media Center for Asia, developed computer navigator certificate for the Commonwealth of Learning in Canada, and now the national coordinator of SWAM Educational Channel. This is just a very brief introduction about our naming relations, which also means to testify that she is deservedly where she is today. So let us welcome her with a big round of applause, and we request her to begin with speech.
Director of Social Sciences, Professor Subhas, my colleagues from the faculty, from the school, from the university, all the students who have joined in, and professional colleagues also. I see some of them who have joined in. I think it's afternoon already. Good afternoon to all of you. On this occasion of 132nd birth anniversary of Ramanathan, which we are celebrating as National Librarians Day, I wish you all of you. And I would like to also congratulate my colleagues from the faculty for initiating this. I think especially the idea of inviting Professor Dinesh, fantastic idea. It was an eye. We have known Ramanathan in Bali. But I was thinking when he's talking about, he started with contemporary society. I thought he will talk about technology, he will talk about a lot of things that are going on. But I was surprised when he actually went to the grassroots. He started talking about our traditions. He started relating libraries, and I was trying to note down what are the keywords that are coming in. So that's something fantastic. I think this is something for the first time I'm hearing, because we talk about 5 laws of library science and relate it to the contemporary, so we make it information, documentation, whatever it is, go ahead with that. And technology, digital libraries like that. But relating it with our tradition and just using it for the present day situation, that's fantastic. Beautiful. It was fantastic. And he happens to be a marketing guru. I think someone asked about the marketing part. He is our marketing guru. And he has been marketing library information science across the globe. And a lot of contributions has been made. So, in fact, when we talk about Ranganathan, a lot of things come to our mind, and I think Professor Jaydeep elaborated to a great extent his contributions. And if you look into the present day situation, things are changing. I think our librarian is there. He will see what is the pathetic situation of the footfall in the libraries. We have libraries on our farms. Mobile is doing the service. Does that mean that libraries are not required? Yes, no. My professional colleagues, very much required. I think we talked about Ranganathan's 5 laws. Knowledge organization, student classification, and if you see that forms the base for what we talk about the search engines that are there. So, libraries are important. There may be a search engine Google can do. We do a lot of Googling, but librarian is required to go in for the precision. That precision comes from the library professionals. So information retrieval, we talk about that, but when we talk about recall and precision, I think the logic that library science puts in, that's very, very important. I think those days are gone when we thought that librarian, a person sitting on the desk in the library. No, you have to reimagine the librarians also. They are not simply someone working in the library. It could be an invisible library. It could be a virtual library. It could be anywhere in the world. So it need not be in the boundaries of one library. It goes beyond that. So I think that's very important thing that we need to notice, and he has been pressing. I mean, he talked about, banyan tree, library as a banyan tree. Fantastic. Really, we should think of it. So today maybe he's talking about a physical banyan tree, tomorrow it will be a virtual banyan tree, who knows? But banyan tree is a banyan tree. Okay. So it's giving us the knowledge. I love your idea about 5 laws as Mangalacharya. Fantastic. I think we should go as library equations. That's very important. And it's a Mangalacharya. Well, whatever context, which kind of libraries that we are talking about, I think it's very important. Whether we are talking of digital libraries, we are talking about virtual libraries, I think 5 laws should be the core of our philosophy. That will be more. Well, my experience with Ranganathan, if I talk about, when I got to know Ranganathan, got to know his colon classification, his books got introduced when he started as a student of BA. But actually, the beauty of his writings, I got to know when I joined IGNU, and the first task that I was given in IGNU was writing 5 units of colon classification. As a student, I never wrote, I just glanced through the prolegomena. What says grammar of your classification you have been mentioning. Similarly, prolegomena is a grammar for us, for the classification that we talk. And that was a real realization, exactly the beauty, the way it has been written. Very difficult presentation. You need to understand every concept, you need to read it 2-3 times to go into the book. And when you are writing units, I think you have to go deeper into it and you try to understand what exactly he meant. Reading like Ranganathan, you mentioned, that Lucas mentioned also that you have to read his books as Ranganathan. What was in his mind when he was writing? I think that's very important. That was an opener, and in fact, eye opener for me, understanding actually the crux of what is library science. Okay, and we developed a lot of videos on colon classification, classified catalog code, and all other things. And in fact, the challenge, the first video that we had to make, I was asked to make a video on colon classification fundamentals. And when we talk about fundamentals, we talk about PMAST. And if you look into my old video, what I did, went on thinking, President Nina was also there as my colleague that time. So how to present that? So we thought, let us use a tree to we use to tell you exactly how a class number is built. When we talk about analytic system scheme, how it is built. And that tree, and if you just look back, and I think it was a fantastic job. I'm proud of that work that we did. It was, we say that the Indian is the basic subject, and then with that PMEST, and they get attached, and then how you construct the class number. This is something that I think each of us need to understand. What is the philosophy behind it, the concepts, the theories, the canons he talked about, and try to build it based on that. This is something that is very important. Well, Ranganathan is still relevant, and he will be relevant in future. Today, we talk about libraries, we relate it with industrial 4.2 or in 5.2. What is 4.0, industry 4.2? And we relate it with library 4.2 and 5.2 also. What is it? It talks about basically from industrial revolution that we started, that was industry 1.2 to today's 4.0, where we talk about artificial intelligence, where we talk about robots, where we talk about, augmented reality, virtual reality, all those.
I think that's a big change that is coming. And in future, I think the libraries will be also like that. I don't know how many of you have gone through a site called Second Life. It's an immersive world. And in that immersive world, you have a look into it. You have actually a complete library available. You can walk through, you take into avatar, walk in, and you have virtual library, you pick up the book of your choice and read. This is something, and in fact, in terms of teaching learning, also we talk about immersive world. That's a big change that is coming. Another important thing is we talk about robots taking over the job, and that's what Library 5.0 is going to be. It talks about customization, personalization, robotization. So tomorrow, maybe a time will come on the circulation counter, we will have robots actually serving, and this is happening in many countries world over, and that could be the future. And that's what actually, but then again, the question comes, if robots take over, libraries are not needed, libraries are needed. Because who writes the logic for the robot? What kind of service is to be given? Who writes that? It is the library. So the service that is being provided, so the librarian will be relevant. And all the principles that I have talked about and these 5 laws still remains relevant. Professor Dinesh mentioned about data, importance of data. He mentioned about data taking over. AI is something that is coming. And of course, a future is coming where AI not only creating knowledge, maybe wisdom. And that is gathered through the data that is captured. So what happens in future? Now we have AI. Have you seen instances where actually through AI you can create a complete video? You just given your voice, you given your face, image, and it will create a lecture for you. So as a VC, I will not be here. Okay. So I send my AI companion comes and gives a presentation. And that's happening. Many lectures have been recorded that way. Talking about translation, we're talking about Indian language to be promoted, but teaching in mother tongue. I think that's another area. Translation service is a very important component of the library. And now I think libraries should also think in terms of how to use AI to provide the service of translation. I think that's another area that we should think of. So these are some of the things that I wanted to reflect. Of course, it's a good idea. You mentioned about that 5 laws. I mean, it's not just ICT or digitization or virtualization. I think we have to be also grounded, and very well you mentioned that this is also related to the SDGs. That's something important, and I will be interested to see the research that is coming out of it, how it is being used in that. So that's something that will be very, very interesting to see, in fact. And I like your idea about Swayamvar. We are open access as Swayamvar. I think that's fantastic. Oh, I mean, this visualization when a reader comes into the library and has content, but exactly pinpointing the choice, the document or the information that the person is targeting. That's something that is really fantastic. And I mean, you have put it in beautiful words. I think we need to discuss this further and see how best actually the whole idea can be taken forward. So overall, I think Ranganathan's ideas were fantastic. His teaching style was fantastic. Today, actually, someone mentioned about, I think the director mentioned about IGNU has gone in for internship. Okay, for our BLS and that's mentioned in the NEP that we have to provide an internship. But in his, I mean, Ranganathan was very innovative in teaching. Methods were very innovative. He wanted people hands-on. And this whole internship concept was embedded in that. Actually, the ideas were that the library school should be housed in libraries. But the sorrowful part is libraries and library schools are way apart. I think we need to think about it because then the students can get a hands-on practice, work, actual situation, and then learn. So learning by doing concept that we talk about can be inbuilt. I think that needs to be looked into. That's something that we should look forward to. So I think these are some of the words I wanted to say. Ranganathan is relevant, will remain relevant. The basic that he provided the base, especially for the Indian library professionals, I think that is going to go a long way. Whether we have digitization, visualization, augmented reality, artificial intelligence taking over, media is changing, mode of delivery of services changing, but librarian is important. Long live librarians. So thank you very much.
When our Honorable Vice Chancellor gave our speech, I was reminded of a very powerful quotation. So I'm going to quote that. Google can bring you back one-line answers. A librarian bring you the right answer. I go there, then yeah, this shows how important a librarian is and also will be. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your kind words of appreciation, sharp observation, special lecture. And we are also very thankful to you for your constant support, cooperation, interaction. And most importantly, again, thank you for sharing your perspectives on how to be relevant, not only today, but also in the future. Thank you once again, ma'am, for addressing to the gathering and also valuable contribution to this program. Okay, now we have come to the end of our today's program. And for that, I would like to request my colleague, Professor Archana Shukla, to kindly come forward and announce the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Today it is my pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Faculty of Library and Information Science, School of Social Sciences. First of all, we are extremely thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, Professor Uma Kanjilal, who despite her busy schedule has found time to attend this very important day celebration. Thank you, Madam. Thanks a lot for always blessing us, for motivating us, and also for your motivating address. Ma'am, your vision is the motivating force behind the success of our LIS discipline. Thanks a lot, Madam. My sincere thanks to today's resource person, Professor Dinesh Kumar Gupta, for his wonderful and thought-provoking lecture on Dr. Ranganathan. My gratitude and special thanks to our director, Professor Suhas, School of Social Sciences. Madam, thanks a lot for your continuous support. My heartfelt thanks to Professor Sachi Shah, Director, COE, for providing all the help and support from COE. And I appreciate the contribution of Team COE for their efforts and time in making this event possible. My sincere thanks to everyone for taking time to be here today. Special thanks to the esteemed LIS professionals from various institutions and research scholars of the department. I extend my sincere thanks to Director of Horticulture Cell and staff for their cooperation. I extend my sincere thanks to Director Computer Division for all technical help. Thanks to Mr. Rajesh Sharma, PRO IGNU, and also the guest house staff for all support. My gratitude to Professor Jaideep Sharma for his continuous encouragement and guidance. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated faculty members. I would like to acknowledge the contribution of Professor Kuwar Singh, Dr. Ashok Kumar and Dr. Pawan Kumar Seni. They have contributed immensely in the success of this event. Thanks a lot for your support. Our special thanks to Professor Chuchamo Yathan, because all the things which you are seeing here is his efforts. Thanks a lot, Yathan. Heartfelt thanks to staff members of the School of Social Sciences also who have supported and assisted us for this program. Once again, my heartfelt thanks to one and all those who have helped directly or indirectly for the success of this program, especially the research scholars of the department. And last but not the least, thanks to Dr. Ragnathan, because of whom we all are here. Thank you.
Yes, so with this, we come to the end of our program for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a very good afternoon. Evening ahead.